Welcome to the virtual fixed asset topic. After completing this topic, you will be able to explain the process of managing virtual fixed assets. When your company needs to purchase identical fixed assets in large quantities for internal use, create a virtual item representing the fixed asset. In the AP invoice, choose this template item and enter a certain quantity in the item row. Then, SAP Business One automatically creates the same quantity of asset master data records, and capitalizes them for you. Using this function can free you from having to manually enter large amounts of repeated information, hence helping to improve your company's efficiency in managing fixed assets. Optionally, you can manage serial numbers for the generated virtual fixed assets. You can use the virtual item definition for cases where the company purchases identical assets for office usage, such as laptops, mobile phones or chairs. Let us see how to work with virtual fixed assets. The virtual item checkbox is available only if you use numbering series for the asset master data. Using the numbering series enables the system to create several new assets when a virtual item is purchased in a single transaction row. Note that both master data, that is fixed asset, and items, use the same numbering series setup. Once you define an asset master data as a virtual item, you can start using it as a template for purchasing a bulk of identical assets. OEC Computers defined a virtual item for the mobile phones they purchase for their employees. Selecting the Enforce Serial Numbers box means that when you purchase assets by using virtual items in AP invoices, you must specify a serial number for each generated asset. Virtual items can be capitalized by AP invoices only. The quantity of the automatically created asset master data is the same as the quantity you specified in the AP invoice, 9 in our example. The item numbers are automatically assigned to newly created asset master data, according to the rules you have defined for the series used in the master data of the virtual fixed asset. In our example, when OEC Computers enter a quantity of 9 mobile phones in the AP invoice row, the system automatically creates 9 asset master data, 1 for each mobile phone. The information in the asset master data of the virtual fixed asset is copied to the newly created asset master data, except the virtual item checkbox, which stays unselected. The assets created are regular fixed assets with monetary values. The virtual item functions as a template and therefore will not have any values under the Fixed Assets tab. A capitalization document including the created assets is issued automatically, as well as a journal entry against the asset account. Note that you can include multiple virtual fixed assets in the same AP invoice, but you cannot include both virtual fixed assets and normal fixed assets in the same AP invoice. If you chose to enforce serial numbers, then you will have to define these numbers when purchasing the assets in the AP invoice. In the AP invoice, right-click and choose the Asset Serial Numbers option. In the Asset Serial Numbers setup window, enter serial numbers for each asset purchased through the AP invoice row. The rest of the process is the same as described in the previous slides. The only difference is that the created asset master data will include the serial number you entered in the AP invoice. You can track the serial number in the asset master data. The AP invoice also holds the created serial numbers, and you can view them by right-clicking the created AP invoice. Note that you cannot define an asset master data as an inventory item, and therefore these are not regular serial numbers. They are asset serial numbers saved in the asset master data for tracking purposes. When issuing an AP invoice, to facilitate spotting a virtual item out of the list of items and fixed assets, modify the list of items settings and display the virtual asset item field. To do that, after opening the list of items window, choose the form setting icon from the upper menu bar to modify the list display. When your company needs to purchase identical fixed assets in large quantities for internal use, create a virtual item representing the fixed asset. In the AP invoice, choose this template item and enter a certain quantity in the item row. Virtual items can be capitalized by AP invoices only. Once you add the AP invoice with the virtual item, asset master data records are automatically created in the same quantity you have specified in the AP invoice row. A capitalization document including the created assets is issued automatically as well as a journal entry against the asset account. Few facts about virtual fixed assets. The virtual item checkbox is available only if you use numbering series for the asset master data. If you chose to enforce serial numbers for an asset master data, you will have to define these numbers when purchasing the asset in the AP invoice. You cannot define an asset master data as an inventory item, therefore these are not regular serial numbers. They are asset serial numbers saved in the asset master data for tracking purposes. You have completed the virtual fixed asset topic. Thank you for your time.